think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it. My bones, I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it. My bones, I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. I
A blue candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. Green candle up and red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. GameStop's rising slow and strong. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, show you care. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. But the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share.
All right, guys, good morning. Happy Monday, June 2nd. We are in a new month, and let me get something up on the screen here. There we go. This channel is not financial advice, just a reminder, I don't short stocks. If this is your first time here anyway. So those of you that are regulars already know this, or if you're in my Discord, you know this. I do not short stocks, although I do pay attention to shorts. Nobody pays me ever in the past or in the present for any opinions or DD on this channel. Everything you hear is my unvarnished opinion, and my opinions are generally sourced from company filings, sometimes from the charts, sometimes from social media sentiment. But the fact that I get my opinions and how I view stocks from company filings may be upsetting to you. A lot of people think that I'm always talking negative. I'm not talking negative. It's just the questions you guys are asking about. When I go to the filings, there's a lot of negative information that the company is disclosing. Doesn't mean we can't be optimistic about other certain outcomes, but we are not going to ignore reality of company disclosures on this channel, because that, my friends, is how you get cheap entries and how you make profitable exits without listening to all the noise and the ridiculous price targets on social media. That is where people go wrong. They buy when things are going up instead of being patient and buying when they're cheap, or reading the filings and saying, this puppy's coming back down. I'm just going to wait. I missed this one. I'm just going to wait, and we'll catch it on the next round, because they, like the song said, candles go up, candles go down, stonks go up, and stonks go down. This weekend, we got some news. We got Trump steel tariffs, maybe, to talk about if we have time. In our opening market hour, we got Ukraine sending a massive drone attack over to Russia, and the global market's kind of uncertain what is going to happen next. So maybe we'll get into some of that. And of course, whatever questions or tickers you guys want to look at, if we have time to look at some other tickers, we will. We'll talk about GameStop a little bit, and Bitcoin and AMC, of course. I sold my GameStop after it crossed over 33 into that most recent push up. Maybe that was a good decision. GameStop, I got in at 21 bucks. It ran all the way to 37. Remember, buy low, sell into run-ups. Could it go back up 33, 37 up, and as we push into earnings? Maybe so. Maybe so. Typically, when I exit my GameStop position, it's right before market close on an earnings day. So I got out a little early, but that push up came earlier than we expected. And that was a great opportunity to lock in. What did I make on that? 21, 33, 37. I forget. 50% gain in 2 months. And when it comes back down, I'll buy some more. And if it doesn't come back down, that's okay. I can still buy in again. Chris, good morning to you. Yeah, Chris says Adam Aaron went on a tweet storm last night. I went to sleep, I don't know, around 11 last night. And then I guess because I'm on keto and carnivore, I can't sleep very good. The one downside of being in keto, in ketosis, is it messes with my sleep. And I woke up around 1:30 and I was awake for about an hour. And I saw all of Adam Aaron's tweets. I said, oh boy, the trolls in the comments are going to go wild. And sure enough, they did. He put out like 5 tweets in the middle of the night last night. He's super excited about the movies, and he should be. I mean, the Q2 is looking really, really good. I tweeted about that. I did not put out a video. I might put out an AMC video today, but because I said I would comment on Q2 box office as May ended. I'm trying not to make a bunch of AMC videos until 2 things. And this is not me being negative, but I'm telling you for real, the things that I'm watching is the bondholder lawsuit, which we're expecting a settlement. What's that going to cost the company? I don't know. There's an upcoming court date in that lawsuit at the end of June, around the 20th, I think. I want to know what's the deal with that, because let's say they got to pay $300 million and they have $400 million. That's material to me. Might not be material to you. That's okay. Maybe don't worry about risks. AMC also has about 50 million in bond maturities coming, 50 or 60 million of bond maturities coming due this month, which is also going to be cash going out the door. Good thing is, I think that this will be a profitable quarter. To what extent, still to be determined. We got 1 month to go. But for me, AMC, I'm out of the play until I find out what's going to happen with that bondholder lawsuit, and what are they going to do about being out of shares. What are they going to communicate to us? Are they just going to say nothing and roll the dice? That's fine. That's an option. Don't have any shares on the shelf. Or are they going to, on an upcoming shareholder vote, because the meeting is going to be soon, we don't know when. We were expecting an announcement of a meeting in April, but could that proxy statement be an opportunity for them to ask shareholders for some more shares as a safety net? Not that they have to use them. I think, if the company's profitable, the need of dilution is minimized, but I don't think it's eliminated. Even being very optimistic about the box office, I would not say that it's eliminated, and neither is the company if you read the 10Q risk factors. So, that's the second thing I'd like to get my eyeballs on. What is their strategy about being out of shares? Once I know those two things, I will feel more comfortable jumping back into AMC. I got out in November at $4.34. And, so far that's been a great decision. We have not seen anywhere close to that, except for one day last week on the 23rd. We got up right over $4. So, Chris, what do you think about Adam Aron's tweet storm? Do you think there is a hidden agenda there? Is he just trying to get people hyped up ahead of a proxy vote? We have a lot of good debates about this this very question in the Discord. And if you're not a member of the Discord, there should be a link in every video description. The Discord is free, or you can support the channel on Patreon. The Discord is free, although I'm mostly in the paid rooms, and you can join the basic Discord for free, or you can, for a couple dollars, you can choose one of the paid memberships. That's a way you can support the channel, support the one retail trader who is on your side that is not pumping out ridiculous hopium, fake DD, fake analyst reports, fake price targets. Just real talk here. And I know it's not always popular, but we do pretty well over here. And anybody that's in the Discord or a member, feel free to chime in with your opinions. VRO's Trades, good morning to you. Chris says, I see a guy on X saying as soon as AMC hits 525 that it's going to like 250 per share or something ridiculous. 250. Oh my gosh. I don't, there's the short interest is what on AMC? 14%. Cost to borrow is under 1%. That means there's plenty of shares available to short and snub out any attempted run. Unless I see high cost to borrow and high short interest, I think that the shorts still have a lot of firepower. And they, look, you can go read the analysts' price targets. I see all the social media people saying, these are ridiculous. What are they saying? They're saying that over the next 12 months, they don't think that AMC would be valued over $3 based on anticipated earnings. And if you do some earnings-based math and a reasonable PE ratio, unless you have super inflated earnings expectations over the next 12 months, then a $3 price target, when you factor in the risk of dilution and a bondholder lawsuit, that's probably not unreasonable. So what I think about that, just being real, is the shorts are looking at all of this and thinking the same way. And they're thinking, until some of this risk gets taken off the table, we feel comfortable holding this stock in the $3 to $4 range. What could change that? Get those risks out of the way. That'll bring more people into play, self-included. Almost everybody in my Discord included is waiting for those things to be resolved before we jump back in. And banger box office, banger earnings, surprise beats, all of that works in AMC's favor. But we got to get those risks out of the way also. And they're very short term. I think we'll know resolution on the two things in the next couple months, if not sooner, maybe the next couple days. Chris says, I think just hyped right now, although in the past when he'd tweet a lot and then follow up with the dilution announcement. Yeah. Let's see. We got Q2 doesn't end till end of June, which means the shareholder meeting will be what? First week or so of August. That's a long time to wait to do a shareholder meeting announcement. We kind of think on the in the Discord that perhaps on the proxy statement that they are waiting for the negotiations on the bondholder lawsuit to be settled before they bother with the shareholder meeting, because that's pretty important. It's pretty material how that is going to affect the company, I think. So I don't know. I mean, we could get a proxy notice with a 60-day meeting notice at any time, but we kind of have our money on right now, since they've waited this long, that they must be probably waiting for some resolution on the bondholder lawsuit. Bitcoin this morning, 104,265. GameStop is in the green this morning, up 1.88%, $30.38. MSTR also up 1%. Bitcoin has generally been trending down this morning. Maybe we can recapture that. I like Bitcoin. I'm generally bullish on Bitcoin over the long term. I like that GameStop invested in Bitcoin, even though we don't know. If you didn't see my video last night, I was just kind of, as I was taking my hikes this weekend in the last few days, I was thinking a lot about GameStop's announcement on May 28th about buying 4,710 Bitcoin. And why didn't they announce their cost basis like pretty much everybody else does? I mean, is there one ticker you know of when they announced that they bought Bitcoin that has not disclosed what they paid for it? For me, this is a standout weird. As Rachel Ziegler says, weird. What's the strategy there? And that's kind of what I was thinking about this weekend over the past 3 or 4 days. And yeah, I mean, I came up in my mind with a scenario where they could have bought cheap in early April. I don't think that in my mind it is the leading scenario. I believe I think it's probably more probable, likely more probable that they bought in the week leading up to their announcement. But it'd be cool with me if they bought it cheap, and that certainly would add a couple pennies of earnings per share to what I expect will be positive Q1 and Q2 earnings for GameStop. I do not expect GameStop operations to be profitable, but they have 60 million or so. I need to bring the calculator up and do the GME calculator, my spreadsheet, and do a video for you guys kind of running through some scenarios. They're going to lose money on the core business. It's not a profitable business, despite what all the promoters say on YouTube. GameStop is not a profitable business. I hope that one day they will be. Ryan Cohen's been doing a great job getting them there. They're almost there. A little more cost cutting, a little more high margin products. Maybe they can pull it off. But the safety net they have is all of that cash on the balance sheet, invested in treasuries, which throws off 60 million a quarter now in interest income, and that will more than offset, I think, any losses that GameStop makes going forward. So as a whole, the company will be profitable, but not really, 30 million profit a quarter is not enough to justify a $30 price when you look at earnings per share and a reasonable PE ratio. You could say, I want to give GameStop a higher valuation because they're going to be like an MSTR. And I probably wouldn't argue with you, but I would not enter that debate yet because I don't know what GameStop's basis is on their Bitcoin. And if they just bought in and they're flat on that investment, well, it doesn't really add anything. Just like cash on the balance sheet doesn't add to the share price valuation. It adds to potential. I see the people, I don't understand. Why is Wall Street asleep on GameStop? Don't they see the $6.5 billion on the balance sheet? Of course they see it. Of course they see it, but it does not count. Cash is not worth anything in figuring out a share price valuation. It is potential. It has to be invested. It has to generate earnings. and 4% on treasuries is not exciting to anybody on Wall Street. So sorry, no analyst or institutions are going to rally behind GameStop and drive the price to $50 on $6.5 billion in cash. That is a liquidity formula or a liquidity ratio, but it is not a profitability ratio, and your share price is going to be derived from profitability. So all of the YouTubers who are scratching their head, I don't understand why GameStop can't get any traction with institutions or analysts, because they have no earnings, and the earnings they have are paltry compared to the valuation assigned to the stock. I love Bitcoin for GameStop because if they buy now, if they bought at 74, 84, 94, 104, and it goes to 200, that's going to add unrealized gains to the income statement, add earnings, and help support the current price. So I like Ryan Cohen's strategy. It's a little bit ballsy because if Bitcoin goes down, the opposite happens. It negatively impacts your income statement. But I like it. Like I said, I'm generally bullish on Bitcoin. Brandon Mills says the only thing I can see as a huge risk at the moment is the risk of dilution. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel, Brandon, about the bondholder lawsuit? I mean, we've talked about on this channel. No one else is talking about it. They're scared. They're scared they will lose their following if they dare mention lawsuit or expensive settlement. So maybe you guys haven't been exposed to that. But what's that lawsuit settlement going to cost? We keep on seeing articles drop that more and more bondholders are entering settlement talks with AMC. So I think, they're probably trying to drive some resolution before the end of month court date. What is that going to cost? That, to me, could be a material risk. Hopefully, everybody is pulling in the same direction. Like, how do we set this company up for future success while still making the plaintiffs, the bondholders, happy for any perceived slight that happened to them in AMC redoing their debt in July of 2024, losing access to their collateral? Hopefully there's a win-win scenario for everybody, and let's get that behind us and move on. And then we'll see. I mean, then it's a race for operating cash flow and free cash flow on great box office going forward. Chris says AMC does have a major problem of not having any shares in the war chest. Yeah, you could say they don't need it. I would say, a CFO thinks like a strategic risk manager, and you need to think like a CFO. A CFO is going to say to himself, if anything bad were to ever happen in the market, in the box office, in the world, and things crash for a while, we have zero out. We have zero protection. We have zero ability to raise money to survive even one extra quarter. And so if I think like a CFO, which I try to do, you would want to mitigate that risk, at least having some shares authorized, I think. So for me, the smart play is for them to ask for shares. Obviously, all of us would prefer that they not use them. Jeffrey, what's up? He says, I appreciate your down-to-earth use of facts in analyzing AMC. What does the community of apes play in assessing the possibility of a big FOMO run? Are apes still out there? Yeah, I think the community is very strong. There is a core of, I don't know of how many thousands or tens of thousands of people, but clearly, we've lost some along the way, as I have said in both chat and song from time to time. We lost a few along the way. But, short interest is still high. People love movies. The earnings, I think, are going to turn around at some point. And I think AMC will have its day if they can get past these couple of risks. Imagine the bondholder settlement happens and it's not really that bad as far as any payout. And then we get to the proxy and AMC says, we'd like to have more shares just in case shit. And people say no. How would they internally react to that? Oh, man. But yes, I think the retail investor base is still really strong in AMC. We saw Larry Ching? Yeah, Larry Ching on GameStop taking note a couple weeks ago on Twitter about the institutional ownership percentage of GameStop. I think because he is thinking that as GameStop continues to refine and improve its business model, drive losses out of the core business and improve earnings through Bitcoin or other acquisitions, that the institutional ownership of GameStop will grow. I'd like to see that for AMC. I'd like to see it have a 70-80% institutional ownership. That's when you know that the entire market has given your stock a vote of confidence. When institutions are avoiding your stock, you should pay attention. We think we're real smart, but you should be also asking yourself, why is nobody else seeing this? They're weighing risk and reward, and for them, the reward doesn't outweigh the risk just yet. But I think that if AMC can get over these short-term blips coming up, I think that longer-term reward becomes more possible. And that is what I'm looking forward to. Getting in at the absolute bottom if some of these risks are realized, and then hang on for the next couple year ride of better box office. Cross fingers. Chris says, I bought some puts to hedge my long shares of AMC for now. I think that is, it's always wise to think about having insurance, especially if you have a sizable position, and buying some long dated puts might be a way to do that. It's going to cost you money if you're wrong, obviously, but for some people to sleep at night, it's a reasonable expense as insurance. Because let's just say there was bad news and the price dropped 50% in a day. What's your protection? If you don't have insurance in the form of long dated puts, maybe, several dollars down, whatever you think that the risk of it falling to is, then you're just fully exposed. Hopefully, knock on wood, we don't have to get there. But for some of you that don't like losing money, that is a strategy that Chris is employing that you might consider. I don't advocate any option strategy other than you should learn about the wheel. The wheel, our most loved strategy on this channel. Selling cash secured puts and getting a position in a ticker that you love, and then selling covered calls. It does require that you learn about the wheel. I've got a playlist on the wheel, and you must learn about basic options trading, and then you must become an expert in your stock. No hopium, no social media, just become cold-blooded analysis. Where can I sell cash secured puts where I'm likely to just generate premium and never have to get the stock? Just money every week. Ching, 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 ching. But if it did drop that low, I'm okay buying it. And once I own the stock, what level above the current price should I price in my covered calls that I'm going to sell? And again, you just ring that register every week, selling covered calls. Risk is you could lose your shares if there's a massive push up, and sometimes that happens. You got to be okay with that. If you're not okay with that, don't do the wheel. Doesn't hurt my feelings either way. I'm just talking about how Wall Street makes money and some ideas for you to consider, ways that people in our Discord make money every single week. Some of them thousands or tens of thousands of dollars a week in income. Brian Tampa, did you buy any Bitcoin during the dip? I did not buy any Bitcoin during the $74,000 dip. If and when I get another opportunity, I'm going to restart a Bitcoin position. Chris says, realistically, how long do you see Adam Aron staying as CEO? I think, Chris, and this is just my opinion, he wants to stay long enough that he got the company stable. And they're not quite there yet, but they're getting close. What do you think? Guilty Gunner says, biggest bombing since World War II, and we're still up. Bitcoin down 1%, GME up 6 pennies. Let's look at a couple of other stocks on our cinema side. AMC down this morning 3.5% at 343. IMAX down, Cinemark down. Let's look at is the whole market down? Yeah, everything's down. Down, 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 down. Let's see what is up today. Let me put up our little stock screener here. Not Adam Aron's tweets. We'll come back to those. Where is my... Oh, here we go. Let's go to the day trade screener. Wow. Lyra Therapeutics up 488%. LYRA. And Origenics up 100%. Let's look at Lyra real quick. LYRA. Market cap on that one is very tiny, 6 million. Share price 28.87. Let's see if there's anything weird, like did they just have a reverse split? LYRA. They had a reverse split. All right, so I'm probably not going to be interested in that one. That's why the 400% run up, I guess. What else we got? There was no other news, right, on Lyra? The other one we got here is Origenics. OGen. Up 98% from 11 cents. Yeah, I'm probably not interested in playing a penny stock this morning. No, thank you. Market cap is 5 million. Free float is 20 million shares. Any news? No. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. Market cap 2 million. No. Brand Engagement Network, BNAI. Let's look at one more before we go back to the chat. BNAI. This one was moving in pre-market also. They launched a AI platform. Stock is trading up 43%. Another penny stock. Free float 20 million shares. Market cap 16 million. Yeah. It looks like the pump already happened on that and people are just selling off right now. Maybe it gets a little more juice later in the day, but that's going to be a no for me right now also. Other meme, let's look at gold and silver. Gold, GLD is the ticker I'm using for the proxy. 310. We got a basket up here of gold miners, GDXJ. That is up 6% this morning. Wow. Silver basket also up 7%, maybe on war fears. And Hycroft Mining up 9.8%. Look at her go. Look at that. Hycroft is going to move up just like the basket. These two at the top here. So yeah, good news for Hycroft. Andre, what's up? He says IQST is up. Let's take a peek. IQST. 21% market cap, 35 million, pretty decent. Volume only 252,000 shares, kind of a low volume. Free float 2.8 million shares. I'd like to see a little more volume on that one. For a free float of 2 million, you know how it goes when we get these really interesting runners. We see a lot of money flood into them, and you might trade multiple times the float. We're not even at 10% of the float. But yeah, they had a very nice pop this morning, 970 up to 1350. Good job if you made money on that one. I'm going to play a song here real quick while I go make sure Scarlett is up. She asked me to wake her up at 9 o'clock so she can go to her job, saving lives. Give me 1 minute and I'll be right back.
Up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short squeeze plays, my fortunes flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right, up and to the right. We're in for the ride. It's us on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It's us on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, it'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling, we buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, molasses in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. Book value grows with every share. The doubters say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It's us on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right. Up and to the right. We're in for the ride. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right.
Surprise!
We're gonna win.
Speaking of Roaring Kitty, where is Roaring Kitty? I saw social media was on fire this weekend, expecting him to pop up at 8 p.m. last night, and once again, nothing. Do you think Roaring Kitty is gone? Did he sell his GameStop and move on? Or is he secretly accumulating a position and feverishly working on a bunch of new memes to unleash on us? What do you guys think? A couple of other meme stocks that have retail's attention right now for whatever reason. Finger Motion, down 5% this morning, 287. They had their 10Q released, as well as some dilution news with selling shares at 250. I did a video on them. I don't usually do videos on Finger. It's just a momentum stock that we've been trading on the channel and in the Discord for several years. Not a stock that I'm recommending to you. But if I buy it, I'll post it in Discord and on Twitter. Last time I got in was around $1. I exited my position. It ran up recently to what, $4 or $5? $5. I mean, $1 to $5. You can't beat that, but it's on the way back down. Company sold shares at $2.50. So as I said in my video a couple days ago, I would not be surprised to see it meander back down to $2.50. That is the company assigning a value to their shares. Whether you agree with that or not, that is how the market looks at it. And maybe we consolidate there around $2.50. Maybe we dip a little bit below it. That is kind of what I'm watching over the next couple days. And G-Bucks, ridiculous penny stock that has annual revenues of about $19,000. I heard people over the weekend saying, or over the past few weeks, that G-Bucks could hit $100 or $500. Like, literally, what are we talking about here? A penny stock company that has virtually no business, has millions of dollars of past due debt, and people wonder why. I don't even think there's really that many shorts in it, according to the official short report. But if there were shorts in it, why do you think they're targeting G-Bucks? No revenue, massively defaulting on their debt, which is debt written by the company to the owner of the company. And so he's okay with them being in default. But, you know, what's the catalyst to get G-Bucks moving here? It's a low float stock. Buyers, retail buyers can move it. And maybe that's an interesting trade to you if you like FOMO plays. But they have a dividend coming up in the next day or so, which everybody's excited about for some reason. They think it's going to scare the shorts. So let's see. So far today, we're down another 4.5%. Dividends do not scare shorts. That is a myth. On occasion, we see, like with Overstock, that it can have some catalyst, but in general, if I think of all of the retail plays that people thought dividends were going to cause a short squeeze, generally it doesn't happen. G-Bucks dividend is in the form of warrants, which will give you the right to buy G-Bucks at, I think, $4. Woo, exciting. A chance to buy more shares of a worthless company. I think the shorts are probably yawning on G-Bucks. Wolf Speed is another one that I've been tracking just because it is the bankruptcy flavor of the month. I don't know if it will go bankrupt or not. I can read the filings and the company disclosures, and I talk about that from time to time, and that makes people that own Wolf Speed really upset. I'm sorry. I truly do apologize, but I'm not here to pump Wolf. I'm here to analyze another bankruptcy play. They can be fun to trade sometimes, and good luck to you if you're buying it here cheap. I hope that they work out their debt restructuring, but based on what I'm reading from the company, a debt reorganization is likely to happen, and it is likely to be substantially dilutive to common stockholders. That is not my opinion. That is a company disclosure, and if you don't like that, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the company because they're the ones putting that out. I don't know what else to say other than good luck. My fear is there's going to be a whole new batch of Bed Bath & Beyond people who ride this thing all the way into the ground because they have confirmation bias on their belief and an inability to step back and logically analyze the financials of this company and what the company is disclosing in terms of risk. There is still about a 10%, I'd say, probability that they work out some way that does not dilute common. But if I'm looking at probabilities of outcomes, the probability is going to be some form of dilution to common as they exchange debt for equity, or potentially, worst case scenario, common gets canceled and the company goes private and the debt holders get the company. They exchange the majority of their debt for new equity in a private entity. Joe, good morning to you. Hello. Cryptomaniac says, nothing can stop this market. Golden age. Let's go, Cryptomaniac. I like the enthusiasm. Speaking of crypto, Bitcoin at 104.11. Let's see what some headlines are this morning before we wrap up about steel tariffs. Steel stocks surge after Trump doubles steel tariffs, which is going to make imports more expensive. Sorry, China. Major steel stocks jumped Monday after Trump hiked tariffs to the metal. Trump said at a Pennsylvania rally he would double tariffs on steel imports to 50% from 25%, a move that inflamed trade tensions again and drew criticism from global partners. Major steel stocks jumped Monday. Shares of mining company Cleveland-Cliffs popped 22% following the announcement. Steel Dynamics up 13%. Nucor up 12%, and the steel ETF rose more than 3%. Trump says the idea here is to further secure the steel industry in the United States. I like this sentiment there. It remains to be seen how that all plays out for the global economy and the U.S. stock market. The other thing we have going on is Ukraine attacking Russia with a massive drone strike, and the world sitting back waiting to see what Putin's response is going to be. Will Russia's retaliation to Ukraine's strategic drone strike decisively end the conflict? Are they going to retaliate? Ukraine carried out strategic drone strikes on Sunday against several bases all across Russia that are known to house elements of its nuclear triad. Or is it triad? This came a day before the second round of the newly resumed Russia-Ukrainian talks. Well, that was bad timing. And less than a week after Trump warned Putin that bad things, really bad, really bad, might soon happen to Russia. Therefore, it cannot be ruled out that he knew about this. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. And he might have even discreetly signaled his approval in order to force Russia into peace. Yeah, good luck with that. It's also, of course, possible that he was bluffing and that the Biden-era CIA helped, or why the Biden-era CIA? Why not the Trump-era CIA? Helped orchestrate this attack in advance without him ever finding out, so that Ukraine could sabotage the peace talks. Oh, yeah. And pressured Zelensky into them, or coerce maximum concessions from Russia. Whatever Trump's knowledge may or may not be, Putin might once again climb the escalation ladder by dropping more Oreshniks on Ukraine, which could risk a rupture in their ties. Putin, usually he responds by bombing civilians. We will see. So far as I know, no response. Lindsey Graham proposed 500% tariffs on all Russian energy clients, which Trump might approve. And it says a lot will depend on whether Ukraine makes concessions to Russia after its retaliation. Zero Hedge is basically calling it a foregone conclusion that Russia is going to retaliate. And that kind of has the markets on edge as they await to see what any Russian response might be. All right, let's see what other headlines we got here before we wrap up. If you got any last minute questions, now's the time to get them in. I've got to get my workout in and get some food in me. Why Tesla sales are rebounding in Norway. Investors are piling into big short treasury bets alongside Warren Buffett. Let's just check that real quick. Fixed income investors are steering, this kind of tells you the reason you pay attention to the bond market is it kind of tells you how the big money is thinking about risk.
He sure knows these parts well.
Folks say the planes whisper to him.
Somebody from Twitch giving us a sound effect there.
500 feet. Rerouting.
Make it a left! Innovation changes everything.
Man, he's good.
Oh
With
wait,
one
no,
investment, you can access the
it's
Nasdaq
not Twitch,
100
it's an
innovators
ad.
who are rethinking the world.
I thought someone from Twitch was dropping some sound effects in. It kind of fit the channel though, with the cowboys there. Fixed income investors are steering clear of longer term treasuries amid volatility in bond yields and prices. Berkshire Hathaway is now reported to own 5% of the short-term T-bill market. Wow. Ultra-short bond ETFs have been among the most popular ETF funds with investors in 2025. Investors always pay close attention to bonds. Not always retail investors, I found. Sometimes you guys think that bond traders are the enemy. I would say you should learn more about bonds and how bond traders think. But it is true. Most investors pay close attention to bonds and what the latest movement in prices and yields is saying about the economy. Right now, the action is telling investors to stick to the shorter end of the fixed income market with their maturities. There's a lot of concern and volatility, but on the short and middle end, we're seeing less volatility and stable yields. Long duration just doesn't work right now, says Todd Sohn, senior ETF and technical strategist at Strategas Securities. It would seem that Warren Buffett agrees with Berkshire Hathaway doubling its ownership of T-bills, and as we just said, now owning 5% of all short-term treasuries. Speaking of bonds, I saw some people also pumping GameStop bonds over this weekend. Just a ridiculous take to... Here was the comment. I don't understand. Explain to me why the bonds are trading at 136% of face value, 136 cents on the dollar. Explain to me why the bonds can go up, but the stock won't. All right, you really want to know? Because you guys have been in the markets 4 or 5 years or more. You should know the answer to that. But not many people truly understand convertible bonds. And I've tweeted this out several times. The biggest mistake that GameStop investors are going to make is not understanding convertible bonds and listening to the wrong people. The bonds are up because they have a optionality to them, just like a call option. And the higher GameStop stock goes above the conversion price of those bonds, the higher the bonds are going to go. The bonds could be at 200% of par, conceivably, if GameStop were to run to $40 or $50. That's not the bond. That's nothing more than the built-in option pricing of a convertible bond, driving the price up. And the fact that convertible bonds act like a call option is why there's no incentive for bondholders to convert early and sell their bonds. So the reason GameStop's shares are not moving is because there's no earnings yet. And we'll wait and see in just a couple days. We will wait and see if they have new news for us on earnings. Hang on one second. All right. Give me 1 minute to go grab a package, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on, let me get Clint off of here. Welcome back. A couple minutes to wrap up. Let's see what questions you guys have, if any. VRO's trade says AMC 250. Just kidding, but with the lawsuit and dilution aside, do you think AMC could catch up to their peers? It comes down to the amount of shares outstanding, VRO. So I don't compare, and I urge you guys not to compare, for example, AMC share price to Cinemark, because I see people do that all the time. I don't get it. Cinemark has a free float of 100 million shares. AMC's going to be at 500 million. So when you think in terms of free float, earnings per share, and price to earnings, whatever earnings Cinemark has, if it was $1 divided by 100 million shares versus AMC, if they had $1, it'd be divided by 500 million shares in our worst case example. Then obviously the AMC earnings per share is going to be 5x lower than Cinemark. And then if you multiply them times the same PE ratio, AMC's price will always be 5 times lower than Cinemark's. That's just a function of the float, not anything more complicated than that. So do not think of AMC in terms of having to catch up to Cinemark. That will not happen as long as the float is 5 times higher. It's just, you would need a squeeze event on AMC, but I'm talking normal finance, normal valuation. That is not going to happen. It's the same product. AMC, you know, if things are really cranking and Cinemark is selling out and AMC selling out for an entire quarter, AMC will have greater earnings than Cinemark because it's bigger, I think. But let's just say, but still 5 times the float. The earnings per share will be 5 times less. Therefore, the price targets are always going to be different. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll walk through it with you on paper. But I know that's not a popular topic because a lot of people are telling y'all it's gonna catch up to Cinemark. You know, everything's gonna be dependent on earnings per share, a reasonable PE ratio, and what the float for AMC ends up at. Ideally, we'd want it locked right here. No more shares issued ever. Thanks for joining in, VRO. Anya, good morning. Anya, you're just in time for us to wrap this up. We missed you this morning, but it is available on replay. A lot of good information. Good chat this morning. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Marilyn Mom says AMC should be at least 650. Right now, the analyst expectations for AMC going forward next 12 months is negative earnings. Whether or not those analysts are being too pessimistic is up for debate. I've already modeled out AMC's earnings all the way through end of 2026. Hang on. Yes, babe. I will. Getting ready to wrap up here, and then I'll take care of that. All right. Love you. VRO says, where is AMC in your S and D chart? What is S and D? Anya, we did talk about Hycroft this morning. It seems maybe the gold and silver market is getting a little bit of buying pressure because of maybe the Russia-Ukraine uncertainty, maybe a little bit of flight to safety. Marilyn Mom says maybe AMC should be at 650. I mean, there's definitely a scenario where I think AMC could get to $6.50 or $8 fairly, you know, without pumping it full of a bunch of hopium. If you are bullish that the next 4 quarters are going to be such great box office that the company is going to be wildly profitable, and I can model all of that out in the spreadsheet, then we could come up with a number of 100 million or 200 million of positive earnings. Maybe I've seen people already telling folks it's going to be 400 or 500 million of positive earnings. I'm not going to go to the mat saying that this early. Like I said, I'm trying to not really talk about AMC until we get the bondholder lawsuit and the proxy vote out of the way. I'll have more confidence to talk about 2026 after those short-term risks are out of the way. And that's not me being negative. I just don't want to get rug pulled by the company being too hopeful with you guys, and then some bad news comes, and I don't want to be the guy saying no one saw that coming. I just don't understand how this happened. There are some very real risks that I'm watching, and we'll talk more about 2026 once those risks are out of the way. So I'll just beg your forgiveness for not telling you, that it's running to $6, $8, $20, $40 next year, because there's a couple of very real things happening in the next couple months that I want out of the way before I promise you anything. My promise is just entertainment, but I try and do my predictions based on reasonable spreadsheet financial statement analysis and expectations for box office. But doesn't matter what I think if the company has some bad news coming. I'd like to get that behind us before we talk about the rainbows and unicorns waiting for us in 2026. That's just me not liking to be embarrassed, not liking to be wrong. And look, we know these two things are coming. Let's get them out of the way, and then we can focus on all the positive stuff. Believe me, I'm ready to be there with you. Anya says safety first. Yep. All right, guys, we are at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Let's do a quick rundown. AMC down 2.5%. All of the cinema stocks are down 2.5%. Bitcoin is, I'm going to call it flat at 104.5. GameStop is slightly in the green. Hoorah! Up 1%. Finger Motion now down 5.5% as it retraces, I think, to 550. Wolfspeed, no news today on the bankruptcy play. I expect we'll get news in the coming days or weeks. If you're long Wolfspeed, I wish you nothing but prosperity and good luck with a favorable outcome, although I don't think that is a high probability outcome. And then we'll be watching G-Bucks this week, not because I want you to buy it, just because it's our next ticker to watch, where retail traders have been told by the promoters on YouTube that a dividend is going to cause a massive short squeeze. Dividend coming on G-Bucks in the next day or so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I love you. I want you to do well. Don't forget to buy low and sell high. Make smart trades. No emotions, cold-blooded logic. And if you're feeling a little emotional about a ticker, you're probably over-leveraged. And I'd like to see you work on fixing those type of tendencies to buy high and sell low. Let's work on doing the other. Remember, nobody pays me for any opinions or due diligence on this channel. I do not short stocks. Nobody has ever paid me to say anything on this channel. Everything you're getting is my unvarnished opinion and thoughts. Typically, my opinions are sourced from reading company filings. I also look at charts in the economy and the broader market. And to a certain extent, I look at social media sentiment, because that can often drive FOMO runs on some of these stocks, which could give you a good quick in and out gainer. That's all I got for you this morning. I'll see you guys in Discord. If you want to join the Discord, there should be a link in just about any video description. I am mostly only in the paid rooms, but there is a free Discord, and there are some paid options should you choose. That is one way that you can support this type of content, and I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment after the video is done. Peace. Happy Monday. Let's have a great week.